Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about system requirements. Now I know I've teased that in a couple of my videos, and as I mentioned before, system requirements for this language has changed. So let's just kind of talk about that a little bit. This is going to be a relatively short video. So for those of you who just want to kind of do the regularly scheduled programming, there'll be a video out tomorrow where we start talking about the compiler. So let's talk about system requirements. So with this language, as I've kind of built it up, it's gotten to be a lot bigger than what it originally used to be, and I actually didn't have to have these ridiculous system requirements before. What do I mean by that? Well, first let's kind of talk about what I use to set up my language. So if I go here, I'm actually uploading this file. Yeah, you can see it just got uploaded. So what this is going to be, I'm actually going to put this as a link in the description below. If you guys want to download exactly what I'm using for my programming language, it's simplified a little bit. So originally, a while back, I did use Cygwin, which is a little bit more challenging to set up. So now I have these basic two things. I have CLine. Now, the reason why it's 2019.3.3 and not 2020 is because JetBrains is constantly pushing out like bug fixes and stuff, and they tend to break a lot of crap in their IDE. So I typically try to stay behind like at least 1 year, so that way they can kind of fix their bugs and so on and so forth. So that's why it's 2019. But for now, what I basically use is CLine and MinGW. And this is the W64 install, so this is the 64-bit version. Now here, I'm actually going to go here and install it. So I already have MinGW installed. So I'm just going to show something that's very important. So when you guys get to the installation screen for MinGW, and even if you guys don't end up like downloading this, you end up just downloading it off the internet, you can just kind of type it in MinGW W64. You'll find it. You can find it on SourceForge and other sites. But when you get to the screen, this is very important. I actually made a mistake and messed this up when I first installed it. So you're going to get a architecture selection. So you're going to have two architectures, i686 and x86-64. If you select i686, now this is going to be very important for when we start writing out code to support 64-bit and 32-bit operating systems. But for right now, the preferred thing to have is whatever your system supports. So if you're building this on a 64-bit PC, then you want to go to x86-64. This one right here will basically force you into 32-bit mode. This one, this architecture, if you choose this, it will basically pick which architecture your PC is actually running. So don't be surprised if you just kind of go through the setup and you just continue clicking next without updating this to x86-64, that it turns out that you're compiling on a 32-bit library. So just keep that in mind when you're doing that. Also, let's kind of talk about a little bit about kind of system requirements for CLine. So overall, I'm just going to say if you're programming this programming language, you guaranteed will not be able to do this without at least 8 gigs of RAM. And that is the minimum. Now, guys, I'm actually going to be updating my RAM in a little bit, but I mean, if we look here, I have 16 gigs and I'm very close to the top. Now, I have other things running while this program is running, while I'm like filming and stuff. So obviously there's other things running on this PC, but I'm just saying that you might want to, if possible, preferably I would say at least 16 gigs minimum. 32 gigs is honestly the preferred. That's why I'm going to be upgrading my PC pretty soon. But if we go here, we can see that this is using 6 gigs. Now, this is on a bit of the low side. Honestly, I've seen CLion take as much as 7.6 gigs of memory. And the reason why it does that is because I have these files. So I have this compiler file and I have like tons of other files for my compiler. And when it's compiling this, it has to know where everything is, right? So it has to build a dependency graph and know where all the references to all my fields, functions, and classes are. So it's basically compiling this code so that way I can kind of move around quickly and do like string replacements and renaming and a bunch of other things. So if we look here, I mean, this file is like almost 9,000 lines of code. And that's just one of many. I have, other files. Like, in fact, this compiler has gotten so big that I had to put it in a second file. Like, so I have compiler CPP and compiler 2 CPP, and that one alone is like almost 2,500 lines of code. So as you can see, I did it for performance reasons. It's pretty ridiculous, but let's kind of talk about what you need to do. So there's two things you need to do once you have your C line set up. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go up to help and find action and type registry. So you're going to want to type registry. And what you're going to need to do is basically update the file size of the file size limit of this IDE. So we can see here the file length. Now the default file length is about 500,000 characters. I upped it to about 800,000 characters. I know that may seem a bit extreme, but I have some pretty large files in this project, and if you're planning on doing everything that I am going to show you guys in the YouTube series and potentially more, you're going to need to add this. Update that and look for the settings specifically. It might not be at the top for you. It's only probably at the top because I edited it. cidr.max.intellisense.file.length and update it from 500,000 to 800,000. After that, the next thing you're going to want to do is type MEMORY. So you want to basically change the memory settings. Now, as you can see, it's going to give you a default value of 2048. That's about 2 gigabytes. That is not going to be enough. As you can see here, I'm allocating about 6 gigabytes to this IDE. Now, that is barely just enough to run this programming language. The reason why you need so much memory is really because of the compiler. Once we start working on the virtual machine, you don't need this much memory, but to build a compiler of this scale, you're going to need to have a lot of RAM. So at a minimum, I would say don't go any lower than 5.5 gigs if you can. I've tried it with 4 gigs, and it's basically unusable. So that's going to be it for today, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick update on kind of the system requirements for this. Also, by the way, if you guys are programming this programming language on a PC, preferably you want to do it on a PC that has an Intel chip of around a i3 to an i7. Doesn't really matter. Those are the chipsets that I've tested for my programming language, at least once we get to working on the JIT. For right now, it doesn't really matter, but once we start getting into low-level stuff, working on the virtual machine, it will matter what processor we are running on. So just keep that in mind when you're building this project. And of course, if you guys would love to help support the channel, definitely head over to my GitHub repository at androidevcd/sharp. And when you do, definitely watch, star, and fork this repository. That's going to give this repository a lot more visibility. Let other developers know this language exists. Also, if you're curious about maybe learning stuff that I do on a daily basis, you can check out the remastered branch. And in there, I write some pretty wordy commits. As you can see, I just published something. And you can kind of see, like, you can get a gist of what I've been up to without really having to look too much in the code by just looking at the commits. I write some pretty wordy commits. So yeah, also if you're curious about maybe learning stuff that I've done to the past in the language or maybe stuff that I'm looking to add in the future, you can check out the docs folder. In there, there's going to be 2 main files. One is going to be the changes file. This is rarely updated. And this is going to be all of the old updates and releases that I've had previous in the past for the language. Roadmap is going to be everything that I've not only done in the past, but also stuff that I'm looking to add into the future. So that's going to be it for today, guys. As usual, if you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.